What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Draymond Green Show. As you know, we were off last week. Things definitely got a little hectic with the injury and schedule. And so I was just trying to figure all of that stuff out. Here I am. We're back. I am excited. After a week off, I feel rejuvenated. No, I'm just playing. This is actually always fun. You know, one thing about this podcast space that I've enjoyed is in my interviews, sometimes I can get a bit long-winded, and like on the podcast you actually have time to tell your story and listen to other people's story, and I actually love that as I can get long-winded sometimes, as y'all may know, but I am extremely excited about today because like I said, we missed last week, but we're coming back with a big 9th episode, and we got a great guest, one of the greatest scorers to ever live, Kevin Durant before Kevin Durant, Hall of Famer, none other than the great Tracy McGrady. And myself personally, growing up, being a fan of the NBA and watching T-Mac get drafted to the Raptors and then go on to the Magic and Houston and so on and so forth, I am excited. And I hope everyone else is excited. I got some drag them down, knock it out questions for T-Mac, No. But no, extremely excited just to have those conversations. I have just as much fun having these conversations as I hope you do listening. And so, that's going to be this week. But as you know, we like to go around the association a little bit before we get going with the interview with the great T-Mac. And of course, I can't come on this week after missing last week and not talk about the injury. I went out last Saturday. I played in practice after having missed the New Orleans game, came back to practice, and I was humming. I was humming. And Coach Kerr, we had 2 4-minute scrimmages just to get up and down. I needed to get a little run. Steph needed to get a little run as he had missed the New Orleans game as well. And now, obviously, we know Klay Thompson was coming back. And so we practiced that Saturday, everybody, and I'm flying around. Everybody's flying around. We're excited. I had the opportunity because, as you may have heard, all the guys had the opportunity to scrimmage with Klay in Denver for the Nuggets game. I was down with COVID when that happened. So I didn't get that opportunity. So that was my first chance to scrimmage with Klay. And just like old times, hit Klay with a couple passes. He knocked him down. Klay coming flying off a Steph corner screen and hit Klay, knock it down. And we got it rolling. And everybody on that white team, I hope they hear this, we cracked them boys. And so after the first 4-minute scrimmage, Coach Kerr came to me. He said, "How you feel?" I said, "I feel incredible." He said, "You look incredible. You going to go again?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm cool." He's like, "Well, let's get JK in to get JK a little run." I was like, "No problem. I feel great. I'm cool." That evening, my calf tightened up. I then went back to the facility that evening, sat in the sauna and like rolled out my calf with a lacrosse ball and with a foam roller just to get the muscle to loosen up. And it loosened up a little bit. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll come in tomorrow for the game. I'll, get some treatment on it. They'll get it loose and ready to go. I'll be ready to go. We got Klay coming back. Excited as hell. And I went to get, the calf worked on, and it wasn't really letting go like I thought it would let go. So I'm like, this is weird. But I went and did my whole routine, getting my glutes activated, everything activated before I got on the court. And when I went out on the court, I went to shoot some jump shots, and I'm like, yep, this definitely doesn't feel right. And shot a couple shots, and then I left the court. And right there, they told me, you're definitely not playing today. There's no chance you're going to play. And it brought me to tears. And the reason it brought me to tears is because after 2.5 years of not playing, having the opportunity to play with Steph and Klay, and Andre, guys who we really especially Clay and Steph, those two guys were here when I got drafted, and they had just won 23 games the year before. So built this thing up from the ground. Then Andre came in year 2. And so, we've built this thing up from the ground, and in doing that, you share a love and a compassion for one another and an appreciation. And so just as I can't say that I was excited for Klay Thompson's return as Klay Thompson was, because he went through the treatment. He went through the rehab. He went through the mental struggles. He went through all of those struggles. I didn't go through those struggles. So I can't say I was more excited than Klay. But I'm sure I was just about as excited or more excited than anyone else in this world about Klay's return. And so once I was given news that I couldn't play, it brought me to tears because I wanted to share that moment with him. And I wanted to be out there and, like old times, right? Like we're, team's doing great, right back at it. And to have that opportunity snatched away, not that Rick or anyone from our staff snatched it away, they protected me, which I am very appreciative of, because I would have limped out there and played and shouldn't have been out there, and worse things can happen. You overcompensate and all of those things. And so it brought me to tears, and I asked them, like, well, can I at least just start the game? Like, just to be out there with them. And then I said, nope, I don't want to start the game, because then if I start the game and I foul, that takes away from Klay moment. Like, and I don't want to take away from Klay's moment. And Rick said, no, I actually think it adds to his moment. And that's all I needed to hear, was it adds to his moment. And so, we were able to get it done to where I could start and then come out of the game. And the calf felt weird. So, like, it just didn't feel like something that, I'll be back next game, so no big deal, I'll play with him next game. And I also didn't want the whole thing hanging over of, well, when would Draymond get an opportunity to play a game with him or start? And like, yes, I still haven't gotten an opportunity to play with him, but our names were on the starting lineup together, and I played 7 seconds, and it scratched the itch enough to where I can focus on getting healthy. But it, like I said, it just didn't feel like I would be back next game. And it just didn't feel normal. So I wanted to be out there for that. So to the people out there that were blowing my page up about me messing their FanDuel points up or their DraftKings points up or this betting website or that betting website, whatever. I apologize. That wasn't my intention. And to be quite honest, that never even crossed my mind. The only thing crossed my mind was I have an opportunity to share this moment with my brother, be on the court with him as he's coming back. Although I can't play, I have the opportunity to feel that energy with him and Steph to start that game. And then I subbed out. To those that won on the under, you got a little lucky. So, everybody sent me their numbers, and I saw the under numbers were or whatever. You got a little lucky, and you're not welcome, because I wasn't doing it on purpose. So I can't say you're welcome, because I had, again, my thought was never who's going to win their bet or lose their bet. My only concern and thoughts were to play or start the game and feel the energy with my brother after 2.5 years. So that was kind of that. So yeah, congrats if you want, because I'm a nice person, but definitely wasn't my intention to hurt or help anyone. I just really wanted to be out there with my brother. But moving on to the NFL, round 1 of the playoffs, man, I love the NFL playoffs. And I mean, we got Saturday, Sunday, we had Monday night. It was incredible. And I can't do much right now due to the injury. So sitting around watching football is a perfect day for me. And boy, was it a good day. The Niners got the win, which, I'm not a San Francisco 49er fan. I am a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. My Steelers dropped the game. But congrats to Big Ben on a incredible career. Won 2 Super Bowls, which there are some organizations that don't have 2 Super Bowls. So, there was always a lot of talk of like, oh, it's time for Ben to retire. When is Pittsburgh going to force him out? And I must say, I have a ton of respect for Pittsburgh's ownership group, their front office group, Coach Mike Tomlin, for allowing Ben to go out on his terms. You have the argument, people making the argument, oh, he should have been retired 3-4 years ago. Maybe he should have, maybe he shouldn't have. Who knows? Who cares? The thing I have the utmost respect for is, again, he won 2 Super Bowls for the organization. There are organizations that don't have 2 Super Bowls, like Dallas Mavericks did with Dirk Nowitzki. You allow that guy to, unlike the New York Giants did with Eli Manning, you allow that guy to go out on their own terms. And so I have a ton of respect. Yeah, maybe it cost you a year or 2. But what was really the likelihood that you were going to win a championship in that year or 2? Probably slim to none. So have a ton of respect for the Pittsburgh brass. I think what they did in allowing Ben to leave on his terms was great. And I'm sure if he wanted to come back next year, they'd have him back next year. And they should, because bringing 2 Super Bowls to a franchise, it's rare. You allow that guy to leave on his own terms. So kudos to Ben. As a Steeler fan, thank you for all that you've done. It's incredible. It's been a great ride. And now, if this is official, we look forward to the next chapter. Other games, let's talk about that Raider game. I've been in the Bay Area for 10 years now. And Raider fans, Brownie Blends, who's a brother of mine, big time Raider fan. Raider fans are unlike any other fans. I mean, I'm sure no one listening to this podcast, unless you're a Raider fan, know anything about the Tuck rule. I've been out here for 10 years. I've heard about the Tuck rule a million times. I still can't explain to you what the Tuck rule is. But if you listen to a Raider fan and let them tell it, they will tell you that the Tuck rule is the reason Tom Brady won 6 championships or whatever it is, whatever it was with the Patriots, that they started the Patriots dynasty because of the Tuck rule, and the Patriots dynasty never would have happened had it not been for the Tuck rule. Well, we had a similar instance, not quite, but the other day, Joe Burrow's close to stepping out of bounds, and he drops a dime to the back of the end zone. Now, if you're watching the game, you definitely heard the whistle, because I 100% heard the whistle, but when they slowed it down, the whistle seemed like it happened when the ball was almost crossing the end zone, the goal line. And then the guy catches it and he's wide open. Did the whistle affect the catch at all? Absolutely not. I don't think if the whistle didn't blow, he was still catching that ball. So I saw one tweet from Brownie that said, y'all think this is going to start the franchise for the Cincinnati Bengals now and they're going to go on to win Super Bowls? I couldn't believe it, but I guess that's what's going to be the same. Now, in saying that, I thought the NFL was dead wrong and those officials were dead wrong for not replaying the down. Did it affect the catch? No. The ball still would have been caught. But the rule is, inadvertent whistle, you have to replay the down. And I thought that was foul that they didn't replay the down. I also thought what was a little more fishy was we can't talk about that till after the game. So, what do? Do you put a call in and say, hey, don't discuss that until after the game till we can figure out what we're going to say or what our statement is going to be? I thought that was pathetic. I thought it was fishy. I didn't like it. I didn't appreciate it. And I know a lot of Raider fans didn't appreciate it. So that was a little fishy. And then, although we stepped outside of the association with the NFL, and coming back to what's going on in the association, let's talk about Ja Morant. What he's doing, carrying an organization, he's carrying a team, obviously, but carrying an organization. The ball that he's playing, I was talking to someone yesterday that said, do you think Ja gonna get most improved? I said, hell no, Ja not getting most improved. Miles Bridges should get most improved. And the reason I don't think Ja should get most improved is because Ja this year didn't just become Ja. Like, we knew last year Ja was serious. We knew he going to be a force to be reckoned with. Now, has he improved? Absolutely. Like, you can tell he lives in the gym and works on his game. He's 100% improved. And what I love most is those guys on that team follow him. They follow his demeanor. You know, he leads that team and that organization. And that's what I appreciate most about Ja Morant. But when I said hell no about the MIP conversation, in my opinion, Ja was already past that. Let's talk about the MVP conversation. That's the category that I personally feel like Ja Morant needs to be mentioned more in. He is playing at an MVP level, all-star starter, all of those things. He is at that level. I saw him say, I'm him, after one of his and ones, and I think it was against us. I'm him. I would have had a little bit to say about that if I was in that game. But nonetheless, I do think he's him. He is an incredible, incredible athlete. But even more so than being an incredible athlete, he's an incredible basketball player, and he's an extremely smart basketball player. You know, I like to think that I am one of the smartest guys in the NBA. That's what I like to think. And I feel like when I'm playing against Ja Morant, a lot like LeBron James, a lot like Chris Paul, when you're playing against those guys, like every possession is like a chess match. And like you're making eye contact with that guy because he's trying to see where you are on the floor. He's trying to see what it is that you're doing, what you're getting your defense into or your offense into. And so when you're playing against guys like that, it's like a chess match. No, I'm not saying Ja Morant is at the level mentally of LeBron James yet or at the level of Chris Paul yet, as not only two of the greatest basketball minds in our game today, but two of the greatest basketball minds in our game in the history. I don't think he's at that level yet because, you know, that comes with time and mistakes and experiences, playoff series, and, you know, that just comes with time. But he definitely has the potential to be at that level. And he's definitely a very, very, very smart point guard, which I think is the driving force in who he's becoming. And so Ja Morant, definitely an MVP candidate. He keep playing at this level. Who knows what happens towards the end of the season, but he's playing really well. He's gaining respect. I mean, there was just one of their fans, if I'm not mistaken, told him a month ago he'd need to go sit down somewhere. So it's beautiful to see how he responded to adversity and playing the best basketball of his career. You love to see that. But without no further ado, as I said earlier in the show, we have